In a thrilling match at Cape Town CTICC, the Proteas secured a narrow 52-50 victory over Uganda in Pool G. Despite the win, the Netball World Cup hopes, unfortunately, they were dashed for our ladies, and South African fans, along with Olympian Chad de Clos, passionately supported the home team. That was fantastic to see. And the Proteas are now set to complete, or should I say compete, for the 5th and 6th place playoff. And that'll be on Friday against Tonga. That's today. And we just need to chat. We've got the perfect person on our panel. It's just one person on the panel. But it's like having a professor on the panel. It's like having a few people.
The panel.
Yes.
The Prof.
Ranel is here today. Department of Exercise, Sport and Lifestyle Medication at Stellenbosch University, to track through some of the sides of this particular game that I suppose we don't often talk about when you're talking sport.
So first of all, thank you for what Stellenbosch is doing for all sport.
Oh, yes.
Just in general, and I would have it. And that goes from the PSL to everywhere at the moment. This feels like, Prof, a massive step up for me. I think I've been most blown away by the speed and level of intensity of this year's World Cup. Has it stood out for you? What do you make of your overall opinion?
It's been amazing. So let me first say, I think it's wonderful that we can host it on Africa soil.
This well. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was, I think, for all of us loving netball and interest in netball, just one of the highlights.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the intensity has been quite high. And I think there are some factors that can contribute to that. From a South African perspective, our netball players, or netball in South Africa, turned professional only last year.
Sure.
So it opened up some players to actually focus on their netball.
Yeah.
So before that, you know, we were, from the research and the studies we've done, our national team was quite age-wise younger than the rest of the international players, because typically many of the good players came from the university environment, and after completing their studies, they then had to go off and find a job.
Yeah, get paid, yeah.
Exactly. So I think for South Africa, that was a big step up to allow the core of the squad to focus on netball. But,
Vital, yeah.
But on an international level, it's just been really spectacular.
Yes,
and you can see real athletes, well-trained, high-level athletes on court.
Let's look at the psychology of said athletes, because, I mean, you have our ladies taking a court in front of their home fans.
Chad de Clos.
Chad de Clos is there as well. But let's talk about what type of impact that would have on players, especially knowing that first African soil World Cup when it comes to netball, and also you've got all of these fans who are like needing us to get a result, and now we're in the 5th and 6th place playoff. So was the occasion a bit too big for our ladies, especially given the fact that we only turned professional last year?
But exactly. So they do get good support also from sports psychologists, the medical team.
Yes.
But it could be. So some of these players do play in England, play in Australia, in their high-level leagues. We've got our local national league that's very competitive. We can look at Varsity Cup. That's some of the most competitive competition. But it's possible, all the expectations and going on that court and hearing the chants and just I think that perception that, wow, we would love to do it for the country. We would love to.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's possible, but yeah.
I also like to look at these from a different perspective, purely sporting, to say that other teams can also step up on the day. And it didn't feel like we bombed out. It didn't feel like we underperformed.
No.
If anything, I think Uganda fed off our energy yesterday, unfortunately. And it was this ripe old tussle. It was beautiful to see. I cannot imagine the Proteas having done more in that match yesterday.
No, and I think, you know, having been on that extreme high after New Zealand, you know, it's often difficult to just next match. It's quite, the frequency of the matches are quite high, and now you're sort of still recovering from New Zealand, and now you've got that margin that you have to get more than 64 and, you know, keep Uganda down.
Is that not just so South African that we thought we could actually get 64 goals more?
But exactly.
We made a plan. That's the thing. So, I mean, if you look at the future of this particular sport, I suppose, what would you like to see? We can refine it, you know, both on a mental health level, but also on a support level.
Yes. Maybe it's a sensitive topic.
Say it, Prof. What do you
come on, Prof?
What do you need?
We have to, from grassroots, get our own coaches up there.
Yes.
Okay.
Norma has been amazing. She's worked with the team.
Yeah.
But I think we can't sort of continuously, when these big events come up, not tap into our
For sure.
our
Just have the one unicorn that we
talent.
always go to.
And,
yeah.
and we have it. I think one thing also in the netball sense, there's often talk about fast tracking.
Yeah.
Fast tracking coaches, fast tracking players. But I think we should get a systematic plan and say, listen, it will take time, but let's develop players, coaches,
Look
our
at sevens,
management.
how the system of sevens has been
Exactly.
developed.
So maybe, you know, I think we need to just get that going, not trying to fast track and put someone in a position that they might not be ready for. We got the talent, we got the heart, the passion. We're a netball-loving
For sure.
country.
Yeah.
Because people even watch netball that I didn't know.
Oh, for sure, but
knew
but-
about the sport, you know.
But rugby and netball always used to be up until high school level, absolutely
Exactly.
neck and neck, and then you'd get your
Exactly.
bursary to go to varsity, everything, and
Right.
then rugby would keep going and netball would just
But
disappear.
exactly. And that's the second thing about what I think professionalism will help, because we have to, as I said, our players drop out a bit younger.
They need a
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
And we need to give them that support, all the support systems to get them in the sport for a bit longer to match them there.
That's Prof being spicy, eh? That's the spiciest
Yes.
professor
That was so
can be.
honest
yeah.
and beautiful. Thank you, Prof.
so much.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for the opportunity. It's great.
Well, there we go. Netball's bright future.
We absolutely love it, and I'm going to reiterate, ladies, we get it, we understand, we've seen the performances, and we feel the pride every time you step out there. We are always and still absolutely proud of you. Thank you, girls.